Well, I'm Reid, and together with my wife and son, we farm here in the Tabano area, south of Ingham in the Herbert Valley. The farm is predominantly sugarcane. We've got a few adjustment cattle on the side. Well, we started growing sugarcane here in 1995, so there was a major move from cattle to cane. We carry out a lot of our farming operations using contractors. Linda does the bookwork, and in recent times Peter's come home from town where he used to work as a diesel fitter. After a wet harvest in 1998 with standover cane, we realised that it might be an advantage to change to a controlled traffic system, because we'd noticed that the cattle hadn't bogged badly on the same country. Well, after making the decision to go to a controlled traffic system, we had to work out how to cultivate the ground on a zonal basis. Initially, we were using rotary hoes, trying to disc only on the top of the mound, and then contractors got a bed renovator which did one row at a time, where it basically just attacked the beds. We had to work out how minimum amount of work was necessary to be able to establish a block of cane and have a successful harvest. So basically the trial was set up to just test the different cultivation methods and see how far we could push it towards the absolute zero-till replant system. To take the next step and truly work out what type of cultivation best suited our country, a trial program was planned with some assistance from Catalyst. We went to full hog from complete cultivation to zonal zero cultivation. The most intensive cultivation involved the retuning disc operation followed by rotary hoeing and ripping. We did a retuning disc operation, a wavy disc operation, and then it was planned that there'd be a zero-till operation. We ended up with 72 rows of cane planted to these different farming systems. When it came harvest time, there was 12 tickets involved, and luckily the whole system worked and they weren't mixed up at the mill, and we ended up with meaningful figures. To be able to carry out this trial, we had to rely heavily on contractors who supplied the retuning disc implement, and they also have the zonal rotary hoe that'll do 3 beds at a time. For the wavy disc side of things, we were fortunate enough to receive some funding from Reef Rescue, and we purchased our own 3-row wavy disc implement.
We started off wanting to test 3 tillage methods and a zero-till. Because of weather conditions, we weren't able to implement the zero-till application, and that was actually wavy disc cultivated to allow the soil to dry a bit because it was too wet to plant. And then it rained and the trial wasn't planted till 6 weeks later. So really the trial's about the 3 tillage methods. Each of the treatments were replicated 3 times in this block. And on this graph here you can see the yield results from 2013, or the plant crop. As you can see, there wasn't a statistical difference in the trial. This is a graph of the 2014 harvest, or the harvest of the first ratoon crop. And you can see there that the treatment that had the most cultivation in the first ratoon has had a significant drop in yield. This graph is the one that tells the best story, I think. It's an average of the 2 harvests, and it's of the tonnes of sugar per hectare that were harvested off that block. You can see there that there's a considerable difference in the tonnes of sugar yield per hectare in the wavy disc cultivated treatments, and this is just over a tonne of sugar per hectare per year.
As a result of conducting this trial, it's confirmed in my mind that we'll be content to plant cane on the existing mounds in a dual row configuration. The way it's planted, there's virtually no soil disturbance after the initial plant. We tend to run a roller over the top of the beds after the planter, and that's it until harvest. As far as runoff water from the farm, the fact that there's only a small percentage of the paddock cultivated, by the time we normally get a wet season, Everything's really well established and the cane's canopied in, and the quality of the water that runs off is very good, in my opinion anyway. As farmers, we've got as much interest in water quality as anybody else, because at the end of the day we're farming to be allowed to go fishing, and we enjoy both creek fishing and reef fishing. I've personally been going to the reef now for about 50 years, and it's in our interest to do things as well as we can.